Hey guys, it's Madison. Welcome to my channel. When I was doing research on yanderes last month, I came across an article about Joe from the show You, where the author asked, how could anyone fall in love with someone who was so blatantly the bad guy in the series? Which made me really ponder the question, why do we love Joe Goldberg? Is it because he's a bad boy and a hopeless romantic? Is it just because the actor that plays him is really hot? I think that there are a lot of reasons why people root for and sometimes crush on Joe, and most of it is by the show's careful design. So sit down and buckle up because I'm about to go over the long list of reasons why we are drawn to this toxic boy. Before I begin, I want to say that Joe from the books and Joe from the show are two very different people. This became especially obvious to me whenever I started reading an excerpt from the new book in the series, You Love Me. And Joe's a lot more nonchalant about murdering people in the books than he is in the show. It was a jarring reminder that the books and the show have become two very different stories, so for the purposes of this video, we're going to mostly be focusing on Joe from the show because, let's face it, most thirsty fans are fans of the show. So the first reason why we love Joe is because he is super romantic. Joe takes Beck on a carriage ride in the city, he plans cute dates, he assembles her bed, he even bakes a cake with the word everything ship on it, a word that they made up during a game of fake Scrabble, which in itself sounds like something that was pulled straight out of a rom-com. Joe makes an effort in a way most people have only seen in romantic movies. This is a huge reason why, despite his many flaws, a lot of people end up romanticizing Joe. Another reason why we love Joe? He's a bad boy. A lot of people writing anti-Joe articles argue that he is not a bad boy, but he totally is. He might also be a narcissist or whatever other labels you want to put on him, but he definitely fits the definition of a bad boy. According to dictionary.com, a bad boy is simply a person who flouts convention, which is definitely Joe. The main thing that makes someone a bad boy is that they go outside of the rules in order to get whatever it is that they want, and that is 100% Joe Goldberg. Another reason why we love Joe is because he's got a soft spot for kids. Whenever you introduce a guy that has a soft spot for kids, hearts will melt. Whenever you introduce a bad boy that has a soft spot for kids, panties will drop. Like Charlie Manx and Dexter Morgan, bad boys who have a soft spot for kids create a kind of heart-stopping, panty-dropping attraction. Sympathy will be gained, and smutty fanfics will be written. It's just a fact. Some people want to paint Joe as being this unfeeling psychopath that only wanted to turn Paco into a minion. I don't think that that's the case. Joe genuinely seemed to be looking after Paco and Ellie even better than their guardians. I think that Joe just wants to protect children because he himself was an abused child that needed someone to look after him when he was younger. Also because he killed someone to protect his mother, and I think that that made a lasting impression on his psyche, which makes him identify himself as a protector. Another reason why we're drawn to Joe is because he has a conscience. He has done horrible things and he wants redemption. This doesn't happen until season 2, but Joe starts to reflect on all of the horrible things that he's done, and he feels guilty about all of it. He starts to have hallucinations of Beck because of his guilt, and he pushes Love away because he is terrified of hurting her. Joe lets Will go, even though common sense says that that is an incredibly risky thing to do, but he does it anyways because it's the right thing to do. Stealing Will's identity was horribly selfish, and arguably one of the worst things that Joe has ever done, but him letting Will go is arguably one of the most selfless things he's ever done. It shows Joe's strong desire to become a better person. Another reason why we love Joe is because a lot of his victims kinda had it coming. Joe is an unreliable narrator, but there are some things that can't be dismissed as being a figment of his imagination, like Peach trying to sexually assault Beck. It's pretty clear that that happened both in the book and in the show, and it makes us root for Joe to kill her, similar to the way that people rooted for Dexter Morgan's vigilante killings. Another reason why we love Joe is because he's just got a charming, likable personality. He's just likable. He's got the personality of a leading man in a rom-com. He's intelligent, charming, funny, well-read, and this is especially important in a show where almost every other character is super obnoxious. Like, Ethan is so annoying sometimes that I just have to give Joe credit for not murdering him because he totally could and he could get away with it. I'm not saying that I'm giving Joe brownie points for not murdering Ethan. I'm just saying, wait, yeah, I am. Another reason why we love Joe is because he is emotionally vulnerable. Joe desperately wants affection, and although I don't think that most people would approve of the lengths that he goes to try to get it, I do think that his ability to emotionally open up to Beck and to Love and his ability to be desperately vulnerable can make him pretty appealing despite everything. And that ties in pretty closely to my next point. Obsession can be a double-edged sword. If you've seen the show, I assume that you're familiar with the bad side of obsession. But it can kind of be appealing to be with someone that's obsessed with you. I think that one of the directors of the show said it best. I think that there's a part of all of us that finds something intrinsically romantic and exciting about a person that will go to any lengths to be with you. We live in an age where it's difficult to keep someone interested in you when there are so many other options. Not just other people, but other things as well. Video games, the internet, movies, etc. There's just so many other distractions. So the idea of someone being so completely interested in just being with you is incredibly flattering. Also, there are so many people that will act interested in you, come on really strong, and then just ghost. I think that in a time whenever people can act interested in you and then just disappear like it's nothing, the idea of someone being 100% invested in you, even if they are a little bit too obsessed, can be really appealing. Another reason why we love Joe Goldberg is because every single thing in the show is manipulating us towards liking him. Every single thing. The way that this show is shot is one of the biggest reasons why Joe has been romanticized. The guy who directed the pilot episode of You said that he wanted it to feel like a great New York love story, just with a disturbed protagonist. There are luscious slow-motion shots, there's an amber glow, it doesn't feel like a thriller. Everything about the show You, from the sunset-colored palette to the dolly work to the soft focus, tells you that you're watching a romance. So by the time you see Joe in one of his more transgressive moments, it's already too late. The show paints Joe as being the protagonist in a rom-com, but gives us the actions of a guy in a Lifetime thriller movie. Everything from the way the show is shot to the music that they play is designed to manipulate our emotions to think more favorably of Joe. So don't feel bad when it works, because everything in this show is designed to make you love Joe Goldberg. Okay, so that this whole video isn't just a defense of Joe Goldberg, here are some not so great qualities of Joe that you shouldn't forget. Joe is definitely a narcissist. Okay, he's got a soft spot for kids, and he does go out of his way to help them, but he definitely pats himself on the back for pretty much everything, even whenever he's doing some pretty morally ambiguous things. He also tends to think that he's better than everyone around him in almost every situation, so yeah, he's got a narcissistic streak for sure. Joe is super controlling. He snoops through Beck's computer and phone, he reads her private messages, he watches her through her window, and he breaks into her house. None of this is okay. This is psycho-abusive behavior. Joe is charming and romantic, but he's also crazy. Joe is a creep. He spies on women, he stole Beck's tampon, he stole her underwear from her underwear drawer. And while we're on that topic, why do guys in TV shows and movies steal underwear from the underwear drawer? That makes no sense. Do you really love the smell of Downy infusions that much? Because that's what you're gonna smell if you steal underwear from someone's underwear drawer. You're gonna smell fabric softener or laundry detergent. Gotta hit the dirty clothes hamper. That's where it's at. In conclusion, Joe is not good boyfriend material. If narcissist, controlling, creep, and actual murderer doesn't put you off, Joe also has this tendency of getting bored whenever he's in a healthy relationship and murdering anyone that rejects him. I just feel the need to state this because this video is not a defense of Joe Goldberg video. This is more of a defense of the viewers that like him despite the fact that he is a toxic person. I also made this video to illustrate the good qualities that Joe has and why we might romanticize him, so that the next time you're on a date, you don't feel quite so crazy when you think to yourself, man, if he was just a little bit like Joe Goldberg, that would be alright. The truth is, Joe has been set up as the perfect romantic male lead, minus a few psychotic hiccups, and he has characteristics that are quite contradictory in real life. A narcissist, but a sensitive guy. An abuser, but a protector too. Be attracted to the good qualities in Joe doesn't mean that you're crazy, and it's not something that you should feel bad about. Of course, I haven't been in a lot of great relationships, so who am I to offer you validation on your fictional crushes? But I think as long as you're able to spot unhealthy behaviors in real-life partners, you'll most likely be okay, and you probably won't end up in a box. Probably. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Soon I'll be doing videos on bizarro fiction and survival horror, and I have another writing vlog coming your way soon. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.